Namaste, Internet. Are you ready to rock and roll? Welcome to the very first episode of hopefully many podcasts with me, the Vipin Mishra project. I'm calling this series Soundtrack of Life. Soundtrack because my work is music. I'm a national award winning film composer, music producer, and independent artist. And life, well, there's much fun I have with interests other than music that I feel everyone who's enjoying life on a daily basis should share his observations for others to possibly find answers to some of their questions. Maybe find a connection with some of my experiences and debate and even discard what isn't relevant to them. Nothing I say here is gospel. But what I do promise is all of it will be honest. I do not intend on faking it. Having said that, we all have our own truths. Just like our fingerprints are unique, so are we, and thus what applies to me might not apply to you. To keep me from digressing, I'll set a topic for each podcast and shall speak about what is of relevance to that topic. That way, if you're enjoying my podcast but find a given topic not relevant to your current stage in life or music, you can skip straight to a topic of your interest. All right, then, let's set today's topic. Since it's the field of music that I chose as my profession, how about I try and demystify how do you shape a career in music? Let that be the topic for today. Let me first quickly share my journey, which has taken me through the many verticals of the music industry over the past 28 years, and thus inadvertently establish my credentials in the field of music too. From performing live at the biggest stages to producing music for commercials, scores for films, songs for Bollywood, releasing music independently, and a few business interests related to the music scene, it's been quite diverse. And remember this, never listen to a man who's giving gyan on how to climb a mountain but has never climbed one himself. There are things in life where no amount of reading can replace actual experience. And making music or playing an instrument happens to be one of them. I'm going to fast forward my journey, but worry not. I shall revisit each phase, the experiences it brought, and the lessons it taught me in detail in the coming episodes. So, are you ready to rock and roll? My interest in learning to play the guitar took seed pretty late in life when I was in senior school, 16 or 17 years of age. So, no, I wasn't born to make music, and neither did music feature significantly in my growing years. This is the early mid 90s we are talking about. Cable television had made inroads a few years ago, bringing MTV and their cool VJs straight into our living rooms. And along with that, the hope that Indian bands and pop culture will now finally catch on and grow as it had in the West. I meant we had MTV now. Could record deals and international tours be far? Anyway, by the time I finished school and joined university, in a short span of a year, I felt like any 18-year-old does, the conqueror of the world. And my first conquest was forming a band where I shared guitar and singing duties with a bunch of friends. Some of them were very talented, and some of them were, well, friends, so they had to be part of the band. A year of performing small shows and competing in college festivals, and behold, I got a call from the keyboard player and founding member of what at that time was a very hot band in the Delhi rock circuit, Parikrama. It was the summer of 1995, and they were looking for a guitar player. My band had opened a couple of shows for them, and Subir, who was and still manages Parikrama, was mildly impressed and wanted me to audition. The audition went well. We got along just fine, and before I knew it, I was part of Parikrama, rehearsing with some of my idols, grappling with the huge gap between the band's abilities and my level of musicianship at that time. This taught me that jumping in the deep end with preparation and intent is the quickest way to get better. If this was a book, I would ask you to underline that line. I'll say it again because it's an important learning for me. Jumping in the deep end with preparation and intent is the quickest way to get better at what you do. I performed live with Parikrama for the next 7 years. Yes, it was living a rock and roll dream, and there is much, much to share about those years with you. I left the band at the turn of the millennium as I had developed an interest beyond playing guitar and singing. I wanted to compose and produce music and songs of my own. In this transitionary phase, I was asked by another iconic band, Silk Route. That's right, the awesome Mohit Chauhan and his friends, to perform with them. This lasted about a year and was another very enriching experience. I'll tell you all about it in the coming episodes. Side by side, while performing live and playing guitar, I had learned the basics of how to play the keyboard and to use a DAW software to help me arrange and produce the music. And there lies another interesting story of how much technology in music has changed and evolved from that time to now, all within a span of about 20 years. My music production stint yielded encouraging results. I wrote and recorded songs as a singer-songwriter, produced music for radio commercials, corporate films, promos, whatever else the city of Delhi had to offer, before deciding to shift cities and come to Bombay. That was the end of 2004. This was yet again jumping into the deep end without knowing a single soul in the city or in the industry. Work showreels at that time were shared on compact discs. YouTube was yet to be born, and the only social media that existed was a company that a few of you might remember as MySpace. From that point in medieval history to now, the January of 2023, I've composed and produced music for hundreds, probably close to 1,000 commercials, done more than a few songs for Bollywood, background scores for documentaries, web series, films, big and small, one of which got me the National Award for Best Music Direction. And after much unwarranted delay, I finally fulfilled my long-standing dream and desire to publish songs as an independent artist by the artist name the Vipin Mishra Project. It would be absolutely lovely to have you listen in on some of the music on a streaming service of your choice. Besides making music, I also own and run a set of recording studios, a jam pad for artists to rehearse their live set. I'm working on an app to help performing artists monetize their art better, and hope to release an unscripted web series titled Folk Road, which has me riding my motorcycle to the Zanskar Valley in Ladakh in search of local nomadic music. So now that I've told you all about the mountains that I've climbed and the ones that I'm still climbing, let me tell you how you should plan your climb, should you choose to. If you enjoyed this podcast, please do follow me here, and it would be awesome to connect and hear from you on Instagram or YouTube. My handle all across social media is Vipin Mishra Project. But before I go, I'm going to ask you, are you ready to rock and roll?